Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel, Under the Needle, Quilting and Crafts. So I'm here today with an unboxing. I have our Open Gate Quilt subscription box. I will put a link to this subscription and the cost information and all of the specs in the description box. But basically, the way this works is every month we get a smaller project that is complete, meaning you have everything you need to make that small project. You don't need anything except a needle. You don't even need thread because that's provided. A needle or your sewing machine. Everything else you've got. And then there'll be a larger project where you will have to get backing for, right? So 2 projects every month. Now, I've been working on my projects for the last 2 months. They are not completed yet. They're mostly complete. This is the month before last, what we got going on. So month before last, so that would be May. May. So for May, we had an option to do this table topper / wall hanging or to do a tote bag. And I chose to do the table topper. I just have to finish the quilting and get it bound. And this is last month's project. Now, I did mine a little different. I still have to finish the quilting and bind it, of course. But when Monique did hers, because if you can see here, we have 4 different fabrics. So there's fabric 1, fabric number 2, fabric number 3, and fabric number 4. So when Monique did hers was separate. And she did one of each print in here. I chose to keep mine all the same. Personal preference. But this is how she's coming out. Again, I have to finish the quilting and get it bound. But it has been a busy couple of weeks for me. And so I haven't had a chance to finish that. I would like to get it done this weekend, though. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. I would like to work on these this weekend. That'd be great. So I can go ahead and get those knocked out because they won't take long, right? So each project for me to finish the quilting, cut and attach the binding, we're talking maybe 2, because I'm not doing a whole bunch of dense quilting. I'm just doing some straight line quilting just so everything holds together. So we're talking 2 hours for each, maybe. Maybe 3 if I'm distracted, which happens. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. But on to this month. What do we have for the month of July? Let's see. Now, I didn't even realize that this came because we have this party every year around the 4th. And I just saw this box in my kitchen. But I use these boxes for other things. So when I saw the box in the kitchen, I didn't think it was a new arrival. I thought that this was an existing box that I was using for something, and it just ended up in the kitchen. It wasn't until I was like, oh, let me get this out of the kitchen and put it in the bedroom where it belongs, that I realized that it was too heavy to be what I thought it was. And then I looked and I saw that the tape was on there. And I was like, oh, crap, this came and I didn't even realize. So I don't even know when exactly it came. I'm not sure. I don't know if it came Saturday or, I'm assuming it didn't come Sunday. I don't know if it came Monday. I don't know. It just showed up in the kitchen. I guess I could, track it if I was curious. But normally, I pay really close attention to my mail. And I guess I must have just missed this, or I might have just missed the timing because the months have been going by so quickly. Every time this box comes, I'm shocked and amazed that another month has gone by. Like, I cannot believe it's been 30 days again. Like, the 2025 is going by quickly, and I'm here for it. I'm ready for 2025 to be over. So let's see what we got in the box. Okay, so we've got some stuff going on here. I'm just gonna read this through a little bit. Oh, I did want to show y'all one of the small projects. I should have one laying around here. This was the small project from last month. I believe, yeah, I think this is the one from last month. Nice size little pouch here. And again, everything you need is in here. Everything you need is in here. I messed up the zipper a little bit because I'm not so great with zippers. I'm really bad at them. But nice size there. Little hanging loop, you know? And again, everything came. We had everything we needed. The batting, the fusible batting that we needed, the thread, everything. You just need your machine, or if you're going to hand sew, which I'm never, you need a needle. All right, let's see what we got in here. There's a lot in here. Oh my God. Okay. This fabric is killing me. All right, so the small project. We have a small reusable grocery bag. Finishes at 9 by 14. We've got a picture here. This is our fabric. Looks like we've got some strawberries. Really cute little strawberries. Got a little piece of elastic there. So it looks like this bag will roll up for storage. So if you're like one of those people like me, and every time you go to friggin' Aldi, you don't have a bag because you keep forgetting to put them in the car. So you end up buying more bags. If that's you, this might help. So this is what our bag ends up looking like. Hold on. See that right there? That's what our bag ends up looking like. And then we can roll it up and kind of store it in the glove box or in the center console. We can just kind of store the little bag there. Cute. One of the things I love about these small projects is that they're easy to recreate and you can make more. So, because you get the instructions, you keep the instructions, right? So you can always make several of these. So it looks like to make this, you need 2 pieces of fabric that are 14 by 15 inches and 1 little 6-inch piece of elastic. And you put it together. And that's that. This is a quick project. The small projects are so quick. They're so satisfying. Like, they're so incredibly satisfying to be able to sit, especially like, you know, I used to do all these, I think I've said before, I used to do all these large quilts, like these huge quilts. And it can get demoralizing when you're constantly working on the same thing if your brain is like mine. And so it's nice to be able to just have a little refresher, you know, something new to work on that's not a full project. Because since I normally do big stuff, when I start something new, it's a whole big old quilt, which is going to take me, you know, at least weeks to complete, potentially months, but I could spend, you know, 40 hours and still not be done with the quilt top, you know, like 40 hours of man hours. I could spend 40 man hours working on a quilt and still not be done with it. And, you know, then when you get tired of looking at it and you just want to do something else, then, you know, I end up starting something else. And then I end up with all of these unfinished quilts, you know, these quilts that I've started but haven't finished. And what I like about these small projects, what I'm loving about them is that I can just do it quickly. Like, even if it's the table runner or the table topper, or even when it's the larger project, we're talking about something that takes 10 hours to complete, maybe 5 hours to complete, not 40 to 60 hours. Because a standard large quilt, that's about, mine taking about 40 hours. When I time them, that's about where it comes in. I mean, I don't time every quilt, but I've kind of kept rough time, and it ends up being about a full week's work, right? A full 40-hour work week. And so, because I kind of tracked it once for a quilt that I did, and that's a lot of time, right? Especially if you're busy and you can only work on something, 5 hours a week at best, then, you're working on that same project for 2 months. And even if you're going to do that, it's nice to be able to pepper in, instead of working that same project over 2 months, maybe you work that project over 4 months, and then you pepper in some of these smaller projects, I just find it to be more satisfying, personally. But this is cute. I'm probably going to make a couple of these. I don't know if I still have some elastic or not, but I'm not worried about the elastic part. I'll roll them all up together and put them in one elastic or something. I did used to have elastic when I was trying to make masks back in 2020. But I don't know if I ended up keeping the elastic or not. I haven't seen it in quite some time. So it could be floating around here somewhere, or I might have tossed it. I'm not sure. But I would like to make a few of these. I would like to have maybe 5 of them and be able to take them with me when, just be able to keep them in my car is what I would like to do with this. Okay. So our notion of the month, I've not seen this before. This is adorable. So this is called Femtech Thimble Tape. And basically, it's like the stuff that you get when you give blood, or like the stuff they give you now when you go to the doctor instead of a Band-Aid. Like you just get that kind of sticky, gauzy stuff, right? Well, I know that they made this smaller one, because normally the ones I see are the thick ones, but apparently they make a thinner one, and you can use it as a thimble. So basically, it's like how you do old school masking tape, and you fold over the edge there so it doesn't stick to each other. So basically, you pull off the amount that you need. I don't want to unroll all this, but you pull off the amount that you need, and then once you've pulled off the amount that you need, then you go ahead and you fold that piece back down, right? So we'll just do a sample here. Scissors. So we have our thimble tape. Okay, we're going to cut it. All right, so it's cut. And after we've cut it, we're going to go ahead and fold that edge back down like we do for masking tape and duct tape today, so that it doesn't, so you have an edge that you can grab. And then I guess you would take this and wrap it around your finger, however much you need, and then you've got a thimble. Now, one of the reasons why I like this is because I haven't been doing much embroidery lately, but one of the things that I do like is that I can't use a regular thimble because it's too hot. Like I didn't know fingertips could sweat, but apparently they do, or at least mine do. So when I wear a thimble, I get my fingertips start sweating. I don't like the way it feels. I found that out back because I've been in banking for, I don't know, 25 years. And they used to give you those, in banking, those little thimbles, those little rubber thimbles they used to give you with the little nubbies on there. And man, I needed them because I had so much paperwork that I needed to flip, and I didn't want to be licking my finger all the time. And so the nubbies were really helpful for that, but my fingertips would start to sweat, and I hated that. So even now for like my quilt gloves, when I use quilt gloves, I cut the fingertips off. So I don't use machingers, the machingers ones that have the grippy tips. I don't use those. I can't use those because my hands start to sweat in those daggone gloves, and I hate the way it friggin' feels. So I like to use the ones by Fountains and Porter because the grippies are all over the palm, and I can cut the fingertips off so that my fingertips don't sweat. So as a concept, I I think this is adorable because that would allow me to use this without having as much sweating, because the full fingertip wouldn't be covered. I could just cover, you know, the part of it that I need. So I think that would probably work better. What would I use it for though? Let's see. There are times when I'm crocheting, because of the way that I crochet, I use my fingertips a lot, and my fingertips can get sore. So that I can even see myself using this for crochet purposes and wrapping up, especially these 3 fingers. I could see myself wrapping up those 3 fingers if I was going to do like a long session and I thought that my fingertips would start to get sore, because that does happen to me, because I'm constantly rolling my hook with my fingers when I crochet. And so my fingertips can get sore. So this would be something that might work for that. I'd have to try it, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I want to try this. All right, so that's item number 2. That's our notion of the month. I love that because like, I didn't know this existed. So I love it when I get a subscription box and there's an item in there that either I had been looking at or eyeing that I kind of might have wanted, but I didn't want to pay for, or just when I get introduced to something completely new. I think that's like the best thing ever, because I didn't know this existed. I knew that the tape that the doctors give you existed, and I guess it makes sense that they make thinner versions of it. I just it never occurred to me to use it on my fingertips. So cute. All right. Okay, so the big project. Oh, hold on, wait. So we have a pattern this month. This is the flower baskets pattern. And this looks very much like, this is in the same, it's not the same, but it's in the same vein as one of the projects we did in our, in one of the prior month's boxes. Do I have it here? No, I don't have it down here. I'm pretty sure I'm using it in my living room, where the TV goes. That's where I'm using it. But you can tell, really easy pattern. You're just got squares and half square triangles and border strips. So I don't know if these are flying geese or if these are half square triangles put together, but still just very simple blocks or simple block components to make something that looks complex. I love the blues. Y'all know I love me some blues. Looks like we need 2/3 yards of a blue floral, 1 yard of a light blue, 1/3 yard of a navy and white print, 7/8 yards of a solid white, 2 1/4 yard pieces of green, 2 1/4 yard pieces of navy, and then of course our backing fabric, and it finishes at 40 inches square. Cute pattern. And we've got our thread this month in the color cream 2000. And of course this matches our small project and our large project. So there's always that. Thread always matches. I mean, I've never had it not match, so I just assume it always matches because it always matches. So, but the absolute look, hold on, I need to make sure I do this right. Look at this stinking color palette. Look at that. Look at this stinking project. Hold on. I can't even work on this yet. but I'm so friggin' excited already. And she gave us some daggone stuff to do our applique. Okay. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, it's so pretty. It's so stinking pretty. I think I'm gonna have to do the friggin' applique. And y'all know I don't like to do applique. I try to avoid it like the plague. Monique's projects did get me to do applique one time. Once. I think that project might be in here. No, I thought it was down here, but it's not. Because I actually use some of the stuff. It's like I rotate it out. So I'll be using it. So it don't be down here with me because it'd be up in the house. And then I'll rotate them out and I'll change them. And the stuff that's down here, I'll bring it upstairs. And the stuff that's upstairs, I'll bring it down here. So I can kind of have something new to look at. But she got me to do applique once. And I think she's going to succeed a second time. Because every part of me wants to make this right now. And I cannot. Because I need to finish at least one of these. I was going to say, like initially before I unbox this, right? I was going to be like, well, before I start whatever's new in the box, I need to finish both of these. But I've already kind of changed that now. Because now that I've seen it, I'm changing it to where I have to at least finish one of them. I have to at least finish one of them before I can touch the new stuff. And it's like a little Jedi mind trick, right? Because it's an incentive, right? It's an incentive. I am incentivized to finish that thing so I can cut into this. Because look how friggin' fantastic that looks. Oh my goodness. I love everything about it. Is that paisley? It's not, but it's reminiscent. The little butterflies. At first I thought it was paisley. I was about to lose my mind. This color palette, and I've said this before, but I love when they bring in black, right? So when, like, I love my greens and my teals and my pinks and my purples, but when you can find a way to do all that and bring black in too, that's very modern. It's very traditional with a modern flair usually, and I like it so much. And that's what we've got here. What is this fabric line? No wonder. I love this fabric line, and I think I have some of it. So the fabric is, so I didn't even say what the small project was, because honestly, the second I opened the box, I was so focused on this, and I was trying to not be. I was trying to not be, but I couldn't. So for the small project, the fabric is In the Thicket by Studio E Fabrics. That is where this fabric is from. This fabric is Sagewood by Moda. And I'm pretty sure I have some of this. I feel like I have some of this. If I don't have some, then I know I looked at this line and I wanted it. And I might have told myself not to buy it. I'm not sure, which is why I don't buy fabric anymore. Which is why I try not to buy a lot of fabric anymore, because I found myself forgetting what the heck I had. But I've seen this fabric line. I loved it when I saw it. I can't remember if I bought anything or not, which is horrible. Like, now I need to check real quick. All right, I had to check. I don't have any. I don't have any of this fabric, and if I do, I don't know where it is, which is why I can't buy fabric anymore. If I got any of this, it's not because I bought it. It's because it came in a Sew Sampler. That'd be the only other way. It's a different subscription. That'd be the only way that I have this product. I checked my order history, searched my emails. I don't have any of this fabric. So that makes me even extra excited. But I know I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I know I liked it. This is Robin Pickens. Who did it? I feel like it's either Robin Pickens or Crystal Manning or Basic Gray. It's one of those three. It's gotta be one of those three. Y'all help me out who made this line, but it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then she threw in the solid green. That just works. That just works. It's probably not Basic Gray. It's giving Robin Pickens vibes. It's really giving Robin Pickens. I don't know who did this line, but I love it. This is, I think, my favorite print. This is the money print for me. Is this one here? This one here. This is where all the magic happens. And to me, everything else plays with this one. This is my favorite print. What's your favorite print? Because this is mine. God, I love it. I love everything about it. So, this makes a project that is, what size is it? 15 by 42 and a half. Blocks are easy. We've got some half square triangles we're making. We've got some snowballed corners that we're making. So this is beginner friendly. The only thing with this project is that you have a lot of prints, and it looks like you just have to keep your stuff organized. So for me, I use pins, or I use little Ziploc baggies, little sandwich bags, or something like that. But yeah, you're going to want to keep all your prints separate and labeled, since there's quite a few of them. Okay, so we've got some one at a time flying geese we're making. We've got some bear paw blocks that we're making. We have some, I don't know, I call them anchor blocks. I don't really know what they're called, but I call them anchor blocks because they give me boat vibes. Let me see if I can show you without showing you anything. So this block right here, it gives me boat vibes. So I tend to call it an anchor block, although I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called. So we're making some of those. Oh yeah, I can't. This is the cutest thing. And we're using a lot of just squares also. So we're only making 4 distinct blocks. So we're making 4 distinct blocks. And then we just have we have some sashing and some squares. So nice, I think, beginner friendly project. The applique, there's the applique. But I'm doing the applique. I skip it every time, except for that once. But I'm doing the damn applique because that's the money shot. The applique is the money shot. So stinking cute. Anywho. All right, so those are our projects that I've just raved about and stuff. All right, so Monique does do some add-ons. You can get some extra stuff in your box if you want to. If you choose to get extra stuff, you can get some extra stuff. You can cancel anytime. So in here we have the Fat Quarter Stash Buster add-on. And you get 4 fat quarters and a fat quarter friendly pattern for $12. This is what our fabric looks like today, this month. I am loving this print right here. This. If I could get a bolt of that, I would be happy. Look at it. This would be such a great backing on so many quilts that I make. Like it would just, and this is our pattern. Our pattern is called, let's see what it's called. Apple Pie and Baseball. It's 20 3/4 by 25.5. And we have all the fabric we need to make this project, to make the front of this project. Because to make this project, you only need 4 fat quarters, 2 light, 1 red, and 1 blue, and that's what we have here. And then you need what, 3/4 of a yard for your backing fabric, and then that's your quilt. 20 3/4 by 25.5. So sometimes you get a pattern that you only need 4 fat quarters to make that pattern. And so you're good to go and you can just make your quilt top. And sometimes you get a pattern that uses more than 4 fat quarters. And then at that point, you could use a fat quarter bundle from your stash or various coordinating fat quarters from your stash to add to this to make the quilt. I know I'm making this, okay? I'm making this. And I'm making a couple of these. For sure. For sure. I can't stinking wait. And I like this is this print here is giving me 4th of July vibes without being 4th of July, because I don't like holiday fabric really. There's a line every once in a while that I'll be like, oh yeah, I'd like, but I like that one. But in general, no. But this I do like because it is giving the essence of red, white, and blue. It has red, white, and blue in it, but it's not screaming Americana. Just like I don't like my stuff screaming Santa Claus and Christmas trees. I don't like for my 4th of July stuff to be screaming Americana. Speaking of, I had my 4th of July party over the weekend and I used the little table toppers that I made from last year's bundle that I was able to put on the table. So that's kind of like my every year thing now. I put those out with some little decorations I got from the Dollar Tree with my little handmade little placemats and stuff like that. So cute. So cute. But love it. But again, this is a $12 add-on should you choose to do so. Should you choose to do so. And then also, you can add on a backing. So this backing is really, you know we're gonna make this, right? You know we're putting this together. you know this is getting made. I'm sorry. It's been a long 2 weeks. But if you want to add on the backing, that's also $12. It's optional and you can stop it at any time, but it's going to be perfectly coordinating because that's what everything Monique does is perfectly coordinated. So I can't wait. I'm probably going to go ahead and iron it and put it in a box. I'm probably going to go ahead and iron the fabric today. I'm being ridiculous. I'm being a little bit ridiculous, but I'm kind of serious though. And if you are a newbie, or even if you're not, and you just don't want to put this together alone, or you want tips or suggestions from the person who designed the project, she does do a class once a month where she shows you how to put that larger project together. I usually end up missing the class live. I normally end up just watching a replay. Or sometimes I've already put it together. There's been a lot of months I was already finished with the top, so I didn't. And then sometimes that was to my detriment because I've made mistakes. And it was like, well, dang, if I had did the class. Now, since this is applique, I'm probably going to do the class. I'll probably I would like to, by the time the class is, so what is it this month? Tuesday, July 15th. at 7 p.m. Central. So I would like to have the quilt top done by that part. That way I can just watch her for the applique. So that's going to be my goal, is to have the top done, sans the applique portion, by July 17th. That's what I'm going to go for. That's a lofty goal considering today's July 8th. So that is 9 days from now. And I still have another project I need to finish before I can do it. I still have to finish one of these before I can start this one. So it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting time for me. And like I said, she gives you the heat and bond. Oh, it's about to storm something serious. I just heard that thunder. Wow. All right. So that's our box. Let's recap, shall we? I'm going to try to keep this quick since this video is already long as heck, right? Oh, and these are our letters. These are our letters. All right. So, smaller project is our small reusable grocery bag, which I want to make a few of so that I can keep them in my car, because I always tend to forget my Aldi bags. We have our notion of the month, which is our Tech thimble tape. We have our pattern, flower baskets. I wish I could. I just know my TV's sitting on top of it and I'm not going to be able to get it down easily. No, is this... No. Anyway. We've got our thread. We have our large project, which mine is kind of jacked up now because I've been digging all through it. But it's to make this fantastic... Look at the colors! Look at the daggone colors. So we have that. I don't even know where I'm going to put this. I don't know where I'm going to hang it when it's done, but somewhere. But there's the fabric pack for our large project. And should you choose to add on to your sub, you can always add on the fat quarter stash bundle. There we go. And add on a fat quarter stash bundle where you get 4 fat quarters. When I first looked at this, I thought it was musical notes. It's not, but that's what I thought this was at first. I thought these were little musical notes because I was just seeing that and it looked like the stanza for the musical notes, and I was seeing, so I thought they were like abstract musical notes. That was like my first vibe. And then when I looked at it more, I was like, no, this is like non-traditional 4th of July. Like that's what this is. So I might make me a couple of more placemats to kind of throw around. Or maybe I'll use some, I could use some, not the heat and bond, the Insulbright. I could maybe use some Insulbright or something like that and make hot pads or something like that. Because like we will have these large, these large trays of food and they're hot and warm. So, I worry about like the table getting messed up. And so that's why I had the other 2 things that I made. That's what the hot pans go on. So maybe I can make a few more using this colorway and still have that 4th of July vibe and have a few extra placemats and stuff to put my pans on. Again, $12 for that and the pattern. And then $12 for this add-on if you want to add on the backing. And it does say in here, hold on, I thought I read something about you can do a bigger one. So she says new add-on in the works. She's had suggestions about offering a larger version of the main project. So she's thinking about offering an additional large project kit, just the kit, not the whole box, and a border as an add-on bundle. And she would include instructions on how to make the project larger by making more blocks and adding a border. And it's still in the planning stages, and she hopes to offer it later this year. Not all projects will fit, because she's saying some projects won't be conducive to that type of technique. No additional shipping, and limited signups available. So that's our box. As y'all can tell, I'm excited about many things, but I'm the most excited about this. I am over the stinking moon about this. Love this. This print is everything. Everything. But anyway, guys, I have talked so much. I've just gone on and on and on. I always try to make my videos 20 minutes, and they end up being 40 because I talk too much. But that is it for me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe should you wish to do so. And I will see you on the next one. And I will see you next month when I have that puppy put together, because it will be put together quickly. It's going to be put together quickly. But again, that's it for me, guys. Enjoy your day. I hope you had a happy 4th, and I'll see you on the next one.